every time I hear about myself, I think, are they talking about someone else? Dear Secretary Buttigieg, dear Deputy Secretary Verma, dear Deputy Secretary Graves, dear Deputy Secretary Azrozea, dear Karen, Eric, Amit, all the friends, all my brothers and sisters, ambassadors, Your Excellencies, Reverend Fathers, all the friends. I will not be able to call all of you by name, but let me tell you how happy all of us, me, my husband Danilo, all team of the Embassy and Ukraine House, that you are here with us on this very special day. The Independence Day, which Ukraine celebrates on the 24th of August, but of course we waited for everyone to come back, and especially our good friends in Congress, and thank you so much, Congressman, to be with us. I hope we'll have more people joining us today. But Independence Day is the main holiday for any democratic country, frankly. If you have Independence Day, it means that it's a culmination of a fight of a country against oppression, fight of people for their right to be who they want to be, to live in their own home, to decide democratically how they want to live in that home, to decide who they want to be friends with, what they want to believe in, who they want to love, just to be at home in their own home, just to grow food, raise children, create art, just to make the world better around themselves, and for the generations to come. Frankly, it's a very simple and universal wish that all of us have. And this is what Ukraine, as you heard, a very old nation, with a very deep culture, with a very rich history. But this is what Ukraine has been denied by our neighbor, by the Russians, for many centuries. This is what generations of Ukrainians fought for during the same long centuries. This is the hope that we had during very brief periods of time, like in 1918, when we became independent, but only for a short time before we were occupied again. And it doesn't matter whether that ruthless aggressor was called Russian Empire or Soviet Union, or right now a Russian Federation, but it was this imperialistic, aggressive, colonial behavior that they always applied to us, but not only to us, to pretty much the majority of their neighbors, and unfortunately even now to some nations that are still captive inside Russia. But on August 24, 1991, Ukraine was free at last. And we started the longest period of our independence during the previous centuries. Let's continue with our program here. And again, thank you so much for staying with us and for your patience. I was talking about the time when we became independent, and on August 24, 1991, Ukraine was free at last. We shed the Soviet legacy, and we started rebuilding ourselves, actually returning back to our European family, to our European roots. When the dissolution of Soviet Empire finally happened, and it was the last day of the Soviet Union, it was such an amazing joy among Ukrainians, but not only in Ukraine. The joy was throughout the whole 14 former Soviet Union republics. There was only one country, unfortunately, which had regrets. And ever since that day, the leadership and the regime was planning how to get back at us. And then in 2008, as we know, Russia attacked Georgia, and then in 2014 attacked Ukraine, and in 2022 started the full-fledged war. And today that war lasts for 930 days. Very difficult. But today, at today's event, and I'm so proud that we are doing it with our friends from the US UBC and from Google. And especially with Google, we are proud to support the program, which has a great name. I really love the theme, and the theme is Ukraine is here. This theme actually is a recurring theme as we fight for our independence and for being who we are. 930 days of war, we have horrible destruction, we see people killed, tortured, unfortunately every day. We see cities erased from the first face of Earth. But then And we see also, and you know, that tens of thousands of our brave defenders making the ultimate sacrifice, paying with their lives, men and women on the front line who defend us on a daily basis. But even that does not make us surrender. All these hardships, through all these hardships, we can say Ukraine is here. Our infrastructure, our transportation, our energy system is at the attack every day. But then Ukraine is still here. More than 2,000 cultural places have been attacked deliberately and either destroyed completely or damaged. Among those, 729 libraries, 117 museums, 974 monuments, statues, and other cultural objects. And even though some of them are destroyed, but because we are erecting them back in the virtual space, we can say Ukraine is here. 930 days, the Ukrainian business shows remarkable resilience. We saw Ukrainian business moving from the cities which are destroyed, reopening in other places. They have shown the strength, regardless of the sector, that is actually beyond any imagination. And just a little note even here, not only Ukrainian business is very active, but at Select USA in 2022, first year of full-fledged war, we had 3 companies participating. Last year we had 17. In 2024 we had 50. These companies are not only flourishing in Ukraine, they're also starting their partnerships and business here in the US, doing it together. So yes, we are scared, we are scarred, we are wounded, we are damaged and destroyed sometimes, but we are unchanged in our resolve to never give up, to never surrender, to fight, thank you, to fight for our loved ones, for our homes, for our land, but also for freedom, democracy, and independence ultimately, something that we celebrate today, something that is very important for both of our nations. Doing something that our generations before us fought for, doing what Ukrainians did in Ukraine even under occupation, doing what amazing Ukrainian diaspora, our hromada, our amazing diaspora was able to help us here and did the fighting even when we were under occupation. Now, I'll finish on a thank you note, because this all is possible. Our fight for independence is possible because of our brave defenders, men and women who hold the line as we speak, because they are led by a very brave President Volodymyr Zelensky, who not only stayed and led the country, but also rallied all the friends to stay with us and be with us. It would not be possible without our friends and allies. So many of you here with us today, whether it's from the G7 group, or from the European Union countries, or the 50 countries which participate on a monthly basis in the so-called Ramstein group, or the 27 participants of the Ukraine Security Compact, countries that signed bilateral agreements with us, or the almost 100 countries and organizations participants of the first Peace Formula Summit, or 26 countries supporting us on a regular basis at the Organization of American States, or 143 countries that voted at the UN to condemn this aggression. And it's also possible because of the leading role of our strategic friend, as I call you, number one, United States, our partners, everyone who is here with us, Secretary, Deputy Secretaries, we have the Secretary of Navy with us, congressmen, everyone on a very strong bipartisan basis, everyone from President Zelensky, President Biden, all cabinet here, and both parties in the Senate and the House. Thank you so much for your support, for standing with us, for your unwavering support during this difficult 2 years. And also for the American people who stand with us everywhere in the United States, who understand that this is our joint fight, that this is the fight in which we have to win. Goodness, light, and democracy have to win. And the evil and the aggressors and autocracies have to lose. And it's very simple. And in order to do that, and I know you heard me saying it so many times, but I will say it once again, we just need more weapons and more support to Ukraine. And we need more sanctions and isolation to Russia. And if we together double down now, especially now in these very difficult times, then we all will be able to win, and we will be able to say that Ukraine is here still and will be here forever. God bless America, God bless American people, and Slava Ukraini!